Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into the absolute ultimate roadmap for high-stakes housing society self-redevelopment. If your building in Maharashtra is just, completely tired of waiting on empty promises from private developers and you finally want to command your own skyline, you are exactly in the right place. We are going to walk through the exact 9-step sequence required to turn an aging building into a brand new, legally secure asset. And most importantly, we're going to do it without risking your home in the process. Okay, let's look at the agenda for our roadmap. We're taking a massive logistical puzzle and breaking it down into 6 fortified phases, starting with 1, the self-redevelopment dream, 2, laying the groundwork, 3, assembling your dream team, 4, feasibility and formal approvals, 5, money, contractors, and registration, and finally, number 6, completion and final keys. Starting with Section 1, the self-redevelopment dream. We begin with the dream itself, right? By taking control into the society's own hands, you completely avoid the nightmare of abandoned developer-led projects. But to do this safely, you really have to treat the process with extreme discipline. This quote we have here perfectly captures the exact mindset your committee must adopt. You must separate your decisions. Think of it kind of like locking a heavy iron gate behind you before you even try to open the next one. You never, ever promise members a specific carpet area increase or some massive corpus amount right at the start. It goes in order. First you study, then you vote to proceed, then you contract. Moving right along to Section 2, laying the groundwork. Let's look at how we build the absolute foundation of your project without rushing into bad contracts. Here are the first 3 of our 9 steps. Step 1 is building initial support with a written proposal explaining exactly why self-redevelopment makes sense for your specific building. Step 2 is assembling your records. You need your registration certificate, your approved plans, and, actually, this is the most crucial part, your conveyance deed. If your society doesn't actually own the land on paper, your project is literally dead on arrival. Getting that conveyance deed sorted is absolute priority number 1. Once that's crystal clear, Step 3 is holding the first formal meeting to authorize just the investigative steps. Now, I need to share a hard truth here. Listen. We all know how chaotic society WhatsApp groups get, but a quick poll in that noisy group chat, it does not count as a legal mandate. Neither do those casual chats down in the parking lot. In self-redevelopment, everything must be officially recorded through formal general body resolutions. You have got to verify the current quorum, the notice periods, and the voting thresholds with the jurisdictional registrar. Every single step must be a highly documented official society decision. Which brings us to Section 3, assembling your dream team. Now that the groundwork is laid and our first gate is safely locked, it's time to tackle Step 4, which is entirely about surrounding yourself with the right independent professionals, because honestly, you absolutely cannot do this alone. Step 4 requires you to hire your core team, a structural engineer, a property advocate, a financial advisor, and above all else, your project management consultant, or PMC. Your PMC is effectively the society's ultimate shield. They work exclusively for you as the owner's representative, not for a contractor, not for a lender, just you. Choosing the right PMC is arguably the single most vital decision you'll make in this entire 9-step journey. So how do you choose? Well, when you're evaluating proposals from, say, 3 to 5 different firms, you absolutely need an objective scoring matrix. You want to map out things like their experience, their feasibility methodology, and the strength of their technical team. And here's something really interesting to keep in mind. Fee transparency should really only account for about 5% of that total score. You are hiring based on rigorous financial modeling ability and relevant self-development experience in your specific jurisdiction. Please do not just select the lowest quotation. A cheap PMC who misses critical municipal approvals or fails to control costs, that will flat out bankrupt your project. You must rigorously vet your team and keep your eyes peeled for massive red flags. For instance, if a PMC promises you massive extra carpet area before even checking your property card, run. No way. Furthermore, never give a consultant unrestricted authority to sign your checks, operate your bank accounts, or bind members individually. Always remember this golden rule. The PMC recommends, but the society authorizes. Okay, Section 4, feasibility and formal approvals. With the core teams solidly in place, we enter the phase where hard math and formal municipal approvals start dictating reality. Moving right along our roadmap, Step 5 is commissioning a comprehensive feasibility report from your newly hired PMC. This is the moment of truth. It reveals if the project is actually financially realistic by looking at construction costs, transit rent, and expected sale proceeds. Then, step 6 is where the society officially votes to proceed purely on this hard data, safely locking our second major gate. Now, a trustworthy feasibility report must always present 3 distinct scenarios: conservative, realistic, and optimistic. Why is that so crucial? Because a project that only survives in an optimistic market, where every single extra flat sells at the absolute highest assumed price, is simply not a safe project for homeowners. You need ironclad assurance that your building can be completed even in a totally conservative market with unforeseen delays. That takes us to Section 5, money, contractors, and registration. Now we arrive at the heavy lifting: securing the big finances, hiring the actual builders, and navigating complex real estate law. These 3 steps, 7, 8, and 9, are where the massive logistical puzzle pieces finally snap together. You're securing construction finance from a cooperative or commercial bank. You're issuing a highly detailed tender to select a transparent contractor. And your professional team is securing municipal approvals and ensuring full statutory compliance with authorities like Maharashtra. At this point in the process, the excitement is completely palpable. A bank has shown genuine interest. You might even have a beautiful 3D model of the brand new building sitting right there in your lobby. Members are understandably starting to ask, is it finally time? Do we pack our bags, let the bulldozers in, and move out to a transit home? The resounding answer to that is no, absolutely not. You must never allow demolition or vacate the premises until this third gate is entirely locked, fortified, and independently verified by your legal team. That means you have a fully sanctioned term sheet from a lender, you have a dedicated project bank account, your contractor is legally bound, and all transit arrangements for your members are fully, officially documented. And when you're selecting that contractor in Step 8 to actually execute the build, you have to be just as rigorous as you were with your PMC. Compare bids on total cost and technical quality. Ensure their payments are linked exclusively to independently certified stages of completion. Never, ever hand over large unsecured advances. And keep this in mind, your PMC monitors the contractor, which means they should never be the same company. Otherwise, the fox is guarding the henhouse, and you do not want that. Finally, we've reached Section 6, completion and final keys. This is the conclusion of our explainer and the project itself, where the dust settles and the brand new skyline truly belongs to you. You made it. But before the final handover is well and truly complete, your society must demand this complete final project file. We're talking the occupation certificate, final audited accounts, and ensuring that any required supplementary conveyance deeds are fully registered. Throughout this entire build, your committee's absolute religion should have been a 3-way reconciliation every single month, obsessively comparing the approved scope, the approved budget, and the approved member benefits. So having seen the 9 critical steps, the rigorous gates you have to lock, and the immense legal safeguards required, the ultimate question is this: does your housing society have the absolute discipline to treat self-redevelopment like a multi-million-dollar corporate project? Because if you aren't ready to take strict, uncompromising control of your own skyline, well, are you truly ready to hand the deed to your home over to someone else? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. See you next time.